and thanks for joining us again this week. I have no idea what week we're on, far too many. But yeah, tonight we are outside. We are at the Thurso Grows Community Garden here in Thurso. We are, the garden is actually at the bottom of Faulkner Waters Court. If you're not familiar with it, then you must give us a shout, because it would be really cool to see some more people here. So we are here because this week is Scottish Climate Week. And that's something that's really important to us, not just the Thurso Grows team, but to us as an organisation as well. So Joan, can you tell us a bit more about it and why it's so important to us?
So, well, first of all, Scottish Climate Week is basically just a chance for organisations like us, for other organisations to talk about what Scotland's doing to minimise its impact to climate change. The Scottish Government has a policy that we are looking to reach net zero carbon emissions by 2045, which actually in the grand scheme of things is not that terribly long away, and there's quite a lot of work that needs to be done for that to happen. Very keen to stress that some of that work needs to be done by government and a lot higher than us, but lots of projects like us can also help in educating about the small changes that you can make to do with climate change. And climate action is a key thread that runs throughout. We've got a 5-year strategic plan for Thurso, and I would suspect that climate action will be in the next 5-year plan and the next 5-year plan. But looking at it kind of runs through all of the projects that we look at. So obviously the growing project, growing your own food, but also buying local food. That's a good way to reduce your carbon emissions. You know, we're standing here in front of beautiful tomatoes that have been grown here in Thurso, including some black tomatoes, which we need to ask the girls about. But that has a much significant, that's no carbon footprint, literally. We've both cycled up here tonight. We could take tomatoes home with us, and there's literally no carbon footprint to them because they've not travelled thousands of miles to get to us. But I mean, other things that we talk about with climate action is things like the harbour toilets, which we own and manage, which are still undergoing refurbishments, thanks COVID. They have got an electricity supplier that takes their electricity from 100% renewables. When we talk about having a community hub, one of the key questions that we ask any of the experts who are going to develop the community hub at the drill hall and work out if it's going to be feasible or not, the questions that we're asking them is not so much, well, it is really important how much it's going to cost to refurbish that building, but also we want to know how much is it going to cost to run it in 5 years' time, in 10 years' time, and how kind to the planet is that going to be, because we need to have a low carbon building. So it's something that we kind of run through everything, including the fact that we've cycled here tonight, because we would like to encourage more active travel in the town. I've actually had a sneak at the draft of the active travel master plan for Thurso just today, and it's very exciting, but it is a draft and I think the public will know about it very soon. So yeah.
Cool. So I guess the Thurso Grows project is one of many ways that we want to try and contribute, do our own little bit, and that is from individual personal levels right up to corporate levels, as Joan was saying about the community hub and things like that as well. So we are also tonight going to give you a bit of a tour of the garden, but the Thurso Grows team, I mean, watch this with a pinch of salt, because I don't know anything about growing. The girls at Thurso Grows tell us everything, so this will be a laugh. So let's go.
So what you want to start? You asked me.
Yeah.
What are these big black things?
What on earth is this?
So this is actually a really good example of climate action in communities. We have here in front, what me and Marion have been standing in front of us is not a polytunnel, it's a polycrub. And our project is funded by the Climate Challenge Fund, but the Climate Challenge Fund also funded up in Shetland this project because knowing in Shetland, they've got a bit of a breeze like what we do, and polytunnels were just getting ruined. So polycrubs are made from recycled materials from salmon fishing. They come from Shetland and it's run as a social enterprise. So we have a polycrub here and we absolutely love our polycrub. And there's definitely not a Caithness breeze that is going to knock that down. But getting back to the question about what the black things are, if I come back round here, then what the girls have very cleverly done is they have created, I don't know what the right word is, they've created that there's rainwater. All the water when it rains here, which it does quite often, falls into those gullies and then goes into these IBCs where we have water that comes that we then water the garden. So, there's water coming out of it. I hope you don't get into trouble for that. So then, will I just pan round a bit? This kind of gives you a view of the rest of the garden and get to kind of give an example. When it was, April last year, the year before, April 2019? Yeah, last year, this garden was basically a wasteland, and this is what we have now with all of these raised beds. So we cannot praise the Thurso Grows staff hard enough for all the work that they have done, including the challenging year that we have had this year. We still have beautiful things that have come out of the garden, which a lot of you will know about because you've been picking it up at the pop-up stalls on a Saturday, which there is one this Saturday actually.
And as we're getting closer and closer to the winter time and that all important C word, I'm not too sure if we're ready to mention yet. This is a particularly exciting bed for us because this is our Brussels sprouts for Christmas dinner.
It is.
So they will be growing away nicely. We've no idea how we'll manage Christmas dinner this year, but where there's a will, there's a way. And we're sure that we'll manage something or other. What else have we got? Turnips? Is that turnips?
No, I think that's beetroot.
Oh, they're too little
Yeah,
for me.
I'm pretty sure that's beetroot. Yep.
Oopsie.
Yep. Pretty sure that's beetroot.
Well, the other exciting thing, I think it's exciting, is the toilet.
Yes. So, up here we have all of our beds, obviously. There's a bottle house greenhouse, which actually was made a few years ago by North Highland College, by their PEP students. It did used to sit in another location in the garden, but we took it down and we relocated it so it's next to the polycrub. And then we're going in here, see lots of beautiful things. Also, I have to say, when you see flowers and things about here, I am reliably informed that we have this kind of mix of things here because it's actually permaculture gardening that the girls do.
Look at all those butterflies.
Oh, see, we've got billions of butterflies up there. Oh, they're all going away
so
now.
cool.
They're camera shy. But this is so that we keep all of our pollinators, which are important for the veggies as well. There's one of the new fruit trees that was put in, I believe.
Yeah, our toilet.
So yes, we have a toilet here, which is a very special toilet because it's a composting toilet. We haven't been clever enough to ask what the combination is for the padlock.
So this is the door.
But yeah, it's a composting toilet, which means that we don't have to have any mains water, which again is very friendly for the climate. Do you want to go back down the ramp bit? This is just our shed here. This is all of Jill's marvellous work, where she makes everything beautiful and organised. So, and then we have these beautiful benches, which are amazing, which were made for us by the community payback team, and they're just brilliant.
They really cool.
Absolutely, yeah, really beautiful, and they've been really good because although we can't, I mean, that's one of the reasons why we decided to do a bit of a tour of the garden, was because we can't really have a huge number of people in here at the moment because of COVID restrictions, but having these benches and the kind of little benches for people to sit on has meant that the few volunteers that we have been able to have in have been able to socially distance quite easily and things like that. So less of veggies, I'm presuming you know what that thing is there and what it makes.
obviously. So this is our cob oven, which we're hoping to use for pizza nights. So we made this when? Crikey.
Well, that's debatable. So we ran a course last September. September, October, I think it was September, to make the cob oven, and we had lots of people that attended, and they did all stamping of clay and things like that, but unfortunately we just did it a little bit too late in the year for a cob oven to set, because it's all made with clay. If I come up a bit closer to it, so unfortunately when we got some frosts over the winter time, the cob oven collapsed. But Sharon, she has rebuilt it while we were in lockdown, so
it's looking
we
brilliant.
still have another one, and I think it's definitely been fired up. There's definitely been a fire in there. Haven't actually tasted any pizza out of it yet, but hope to soon.
So that'll be when things are more normal, maybe, who knows. That'll be something that we'll hopefully invite many of you guys up here to the garden to socialise with us. I was going to say celebrate, but I guess we could celebrate just being allowed to be together. We can eat pizza together and, you know, eat some of our homegrown food, and it'll be really exciting. So even if you're not mega gardeners like me and Joan, we can still use this space as a community space and really enjoy it and really get the benefits of being outside and just learning a little bit more. So we're really looking forward to doing that with all you guys of Thurso.